Hello, Senior Stoner fan. Just the real Senior Stoner back at you for your high five duo dab of the day. Hello, everybody. Today is Wednesday, I think. Again, thank you for your good wishes. This is an ongoing thing for me, I think, unfortunately, and this is the way it's going to be. And that's what I want to talk about because I think what we have to do, anyone in the situation I'm in, is we have to kind of set some parameters. And what I'm talking about is how do we deal, not with chronic illness, not with chronic pain, multiple issues, chronic issues that are not acute, that occur at the same time for no apparent reason. And then the solution to the things that you're trying to solve cause other problems, side effects. How do you deal with that? Think about it. In many ways, what we used to do is just kick the can further down the road. You kick the can further down the road by taking your medicine and kind of just saying, it's okay, let's go. But what if something catastrophic happens? What if all of a sudden the medicine you need to take changes things? For example, my situation, I'm extremely lightheaded and dizzy because the medicine affects blood pressure and lowers it dramatically. Walking sugar is like running the 100-yard dash. So, how do you change? How do you adapt your life, your mental status? How do you adapt to the new you? Okay? And I think that's what it has to be called, the new you. Well, you've heard stories. You've heard stories of people that go into hospitals. You maybe have had it yourself. You come out of the hospital with limitations, and they're physical therapy people, they're neurotherapy people to help you get back on your feet. If you don't have all that, you got to do it yourself. So what you're going to have happen is what's happening to me, and be careful when it happens. You're going to hit certain walls. You're going to hit a dizziness wall. You're going to hit I can't eat wall. You're going to hit I can't go to the bathroom wall. You're going to hit I go to the bathroom too much wall. These things are going to, can, and will happen under certain circumstances to all of us. When they happen concurrently, when you have multiple of those horrible things happening at the same time, you feel very boxed in. There is no, hey, let's make this a happy thing. You can't do that, okay? So, you have to almost settle. You have to settle. You have to negotiate with yourself. You do. And what you have to do is you have to make certain trade-offs. And those trade-offs tell you, based on how you feel, what you now can do and you can't do. I am a stubborn mother of you-know-what. I've always been. I talk about these things countless times and have a very difficult time doing them myself. The challenge this time is I truly have met my match. And I believe that happens to many people. So what do you do when you've met your match? Do you roll over, capitulate, and stay in bed all day? I don't think so. Do you go on about your business like nothing has happened? Absolutely not. So there was a flaw in my thinking up to now. My thinking was, don't worry, Senior Stoner, we can get through anything at the same level. Don't worry, Senior Stoner, we can get through anything at the same pace. Don't worry, Senior Stoner, we can get through everything without any consequences. You know what? It's a falsehood. It's incorrect. At some point, at some time, things will happen, unfortunately, that you can't go right, you can't go left, you can't go forward, you can't go back, you can't go up, you can't go down. You are truly boxed in. It's when the solutions are as bad, if not worse, than the problem. It's when the cures are worse, if not just as bad, as the illness. You get really hemmed in. So instead of trying to box your way out to the exact same point you were on before, you must take the pressure out of that tire. I suggest a little bit at a time. I've been hit hard. It wasn't a little bit at a time. I went from 50 pounds of pressure to 10 pounds of pressure, and I'm trying to build it back. My suggestion is you try to be a little bit more foreseeing than I was, and a little bit more realistic than I was. I was trying to convince myself everything was normal when everything wasn't normal. So what has to happen now is you have to look at your own reality, okay? But you've got to make sure it's your own reality, not your own what you want it to be. In these situations, there's a big difference between what you want to be and what can be and what should be. We used to talk about priorities many times. In this case, we talk about severities. So it's very important that we now look at this a different way. And we now look at, let's say you have 50% of your day because you can't do things. You've now got to look at the 100% you used to do, and you got to find out what 50% you don't need to do anymore. And that's the bottom line. The bottom line is people change. The bottom line is things happen, and we must adapt. Adaptation is the key. I believe that is the synthesis of what I'm talking about here, is that we need to adapt. We can't always fight it. You can't always change it as much as we want to. Sometimes it just is what it is. And if it's boxed you in like it has me, you know what? Can't take it the way you used to and think, hey, I can push through this. You got to look at it differently. You've got to acclimate. You've got to adjust. Let's do our dab of the day. And think how important it is for us to adapt to the new you. That's what it is. It's like looking in the mirror after you've lost a lot of weight. The new you. You need new clothes, new shoes, new everything, new attitude. If it goes the other way, like it has for me, you've got to look at it and you got to say, what can I still do? What can't I do? And you've got to adapt. Adaptation. 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 That's the mantra right now. Cheers, everybody. And wish me luck as I try to adapt to the new me. I'm not liking it so much right now. I'm sure, excuse me, many of you have been there. Cheers, everybody. And try to have a great day. This is the Real Senior Stoner. Cheers.